I'm
And
gonna have to get ahead of some allegations.
okay.
So I just want to get
Great
out and say this.
start.
I did not punch a haunted house worker in the face on Friday night.
Well, welcome back to Macrodosing. It is Tuesday. I'm never good at dates. What day is it going to be on Tuesday?
October 10th.
Perfect. It's 10/10/23. Hope my voice is reaching all your beautiful ears and you're having a lovely day. Today PFT is out. I think he's like kidnapped at Barstool or something like that, or whatever that reality thing they're doing. So he's gonna miss this week. But don't worry, we got you covered. We got Big T, we got Billy, we got Matt, Maddie, and then we got Wonton Don coming in, stepping in, friend of the show, the big homie. So it's gonna be a fun show, man. I have to get this off my chest because I felt like horrible about it, and I was shamed all week by my kids all weekend. I did not know until today that pickles were cucumbers.
Oh, come on.
I had no fucking clue. I was like, because I had this big jar of pickles in my fridge, right? And the whole week I'm eating them. And then I think somebody said, you know how those are made. I'm like, you just grow them, right? You just grow pickles. And I was like, no, they're cucumbers. I was like, get the fuck. I had no. And I guess this is something like if you don't know about agriculture, if you're never interested in it, unless somebody tells you, how are you supposed to know? You know what I mean? And I felt slighted. I was like, nobody ever told me this.
Feels like something you would have heard at some point.
I never heard it. And I was like, I was flabbergasted. It fucked me up.
I remember the first time I heard it. It was when someone was trying to get me to try pickles, and I was like really young, and I was like, "What are pickles? Like, ew, they smell disgusting." And they're like, they're cucumbers. They're just salty.
Yeah, they've been pickled. So also
and then sometimes
pickles are just something that's been pickled.
Yeah, I didn't know. I felt stupid. I felt stupid. I mean, not really though. Give myself grace. I mean, how you supposed to know if you ain't into pickles? How you know what I mean?
But it sounds like you are into pickles. You said you were just housing them.
No, I never. So I've never really liked eating pickles solo. This is a new thing. This is like maybe this year. I've always liked pickle juice. I've always drank pickle juice because it was like good for hydration. Like, cause it got a lot of salt in it and like all that stuff. So I've always enjoyed the taste of pickle juice. I don't like pickles on my burgers or sandwiches. So I've never been a pickle guy until recently. I just started like getting jars of pickles and I love them. They're delicious. But I just had no clue where they was from. So I feel like keep it off my chest.
I feel like if Barstool just posts that clip on their account, we'll have some like Mean Girls type reactions when they used to just say the dumbest shit ever.
That's just crazy. I mean, I'll take anything that comes with it because how are you supposed to know?
They look like a cucumber.
Innately, it looks like a squash too. It looks like you know what I mean? Like, it could look like a lot of shit. A lot of shit looks like a lot of shit. Doesn't mean it is. Like cauliflower kind of looks like broccoli. Like, I don't know. I'm not into the taxonomy of vegetables. So
yeah,
it's
like
just unless go ahead.
If someone told me that cauliflower was just bleached broccoli, then I'd be like, oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
I'm saying. And I mean, like I said, man, I take that one on the chin. That's my fault for never doing it. How's everybody feeling today, though, man? Don, how you feeling, man? I ain't seen you in a minute. What's good, brother?
I'm good. I've been loving Chicago so far. Winter hasn't really hit yet. It's been beautiful. The food here is phenomenal. And I'm loving life.
What's the biggest difference from a Wonton Don perspective of New York and Chicago thus far?
Chicago's just like a more manageable place to live. Like, I feel like when you're planning a night out in New York, you might need a reservation somewhere. you're going to be in like a small crowded bar. You're probably not going to get home till like 5 a.m. It's like a hectic experience. Like everything's just so expensive and crowded. But in Chicago, I feel like you can just walk out the door, end up having a blast. And like the bars and the restaurants, I feel like there's just more space too. So you're not as like packed in like sardines all the time.
Yeah, I always feel like that's why New Yorkers are so mad. It's just because they on top of everybody on top of everybody, man.
Yeah. And I would say across the board, things are a little cheaper.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. Big T, man, how you living, man? How was the weekend?
Weekend was bad. Braves lost game 1. We're in trouble. So by the time this comes out tomorrow, we will have played game 2. So it's either going to be back to being okay and we'll be tied 1-1, or things will be dire and I'll be in a real bad mood.
So hold on. Baseball just that was game 1 of the whole season?
Playoffs.
Oh, the playoffs started.
Yeah.
I'm fucking horrible with this shit. Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they've been going for a while.
I feel like they always do. That's why I never know where they're at in the season because I don't actively check on it. So they in the playoffs. What seed are they?
They were the best team in baseball this year. They are the number 1 overall seed, and they lost game 1.
And you said it's not looking good. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, it's a 5-game series. They're down 1-0, so they've got to win 3 of the next 4.
I like that they lost and you still repping. You got your shirt on.
I mean, yeah, is it today? Big game today.
I'm gonna catch it on the television.
It's on TBS, I believe.
I'm not. I don't even know why I said that out loud.
You should. It's a good game tonight. Max Fried, Zach Wheeler, great pitching matchup.
It's just not baseball. Don't do it for me unless I'm there with you, man. You know
playoff baseball's different though. Like playoff baseball is intense.
Yeah, like I don't watch any regular season games really. I'm a horrible baseball fan, but like if the Red Sox were in the playoffs, I would be dialed in for all those games.
I mean, it's a completely different sport, honestly. Like you go to a regular season baseball game and it's the most relaxed of the sports during the regular season because there's 162 games. Like if you win, awesome. If you lose, fine. They play again tomorrow. But like playoffs, you know, it's 5-game series in the first round. Like you lose one, you are in trouble. So it's a completely different thing. Like every pitch is tense.
I like that. Okay, I'm gonna check you out, man. I got nothing shaking today, man. Billy, man, tapping with you, man. How's your week?
I'm gonna have to get ahead of some allegations.
Okay.
So I just want to get out and say this. I did not punch a haunted house worker in the face on Friday night. No. So I did have to leave a haunted house halfway through. But I did not assault a haunted house worker. I just want to say that, put that on record.
Okay.
What actually happened is I voluntarily left the haunted house. Basically, I'm not a haunted house guy. I don't know if you guys are haunted house guys, but I just, I unfortunately got into a haunted house. I wasn't entirely sure what exactly it was, but turns out if you go into a haunted house, real people might jump out of random places in tight quarters and try to scare you, like real.
That's the whole point of a haunted house.
Thing,
I didn't know that.
Was this your first haunted house?
I always avoided. I got nightmares as a child. No one ever took me to a haunted house. I was in there. People were jumping out at me, and I kind of freaked out. Halfway through, I kind of tweaked out. Look, some people say, "Oh, you're a scaredy cat," and I say, "My fight or flight reflex was too crazy," and I accidentally knocked over half of the set in the haunted house because I jumped and threw my body into the side and knocked it over. I profusely apologized and then just left the haunted house. I'm not a haunted house guy. I don't understand how people can walk through those and get enjoyment out of literally people jumping out from behind, shower curtains at you. It was terrifying. I'm not built for haunted houses.
So that was your first haunted house ever?
Yeah.
And how old are you?
I'm 24. I just never thought.
I've never been to one.
No.
I have no desire to. Because I do know that they do that kind of stuff, so I'm not really interested in showing up.
No, so I was on a hayride. I thought it was just Halloween hayride, sweet. like we'll get some apple cider afterwards. But no, then the hayride took me to a haunted house that I did not consent to. I had to then walk through the haunted house, and I was literally, I think I had a panic attack in the middle of the haunted house. I will be honest. But it was like I need to get the fuck out of here. What the fuck's going on? And yeah, so just beware that, haunted houses can do that.
Apparently
but then people saw me getting exited. I took the emergency exit, and people saw me with like a security guard leaving, and they're like, holy shit, did Billy punch one of the haunted house workers in the face? That didn't happen.
Why would that be the conclusion they jumped to?
Because that actually happens a lot, apparently.
So it's a high risk job being in a haunted house?
No, like people freak out. Well, I didn't realize why they had you go through so many metal detectors going in. The county I was in like has pretty lax gun laws, but there's like all these things like no weapons, no weapons, no weapons. But I guess like when people get that crazed, when like random like dudes dressed up as monsters are jumping out at you, they just start shooting sometimes.
My older brother punched a haunted house
with a loaded weapon.
He did?
That would be
I'm
insane.
glad someone else freaked out. I like, it kept saying, don't touch, if you don't touch the haunted house workers, they won't touch you. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, why are these people going to be touching? And then, yeah. So it did not, that did not happen. I accidentally knocked over a set piece and then left the haunted house because I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to accidentally bull in a china shop this bitch. So
Tennessee apparently has the scariest haunted house in the world, and you have to sign like a 40-page waiver and get a doctor's note.
So I know the one you're talking about. Is that in Tennessee?
Yeah,
I think so.
I know it's
yeah.
in the South somewhere.
McCamey
Manor or something. Yeah. I've seen a YouTube video about it. They it's not even a haunted house. They legit torture people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and you sign a waiver that's like.
Did it.
I think I don't know how binding that could be if somebody ever did get in serious trouble, but I think that you sign away you could die.
Yeah, and then if you actually complete the whole tour, you get handed $20,000.
But nobody's ever done it, right?
So then they must just be legitimately torturing you if no one can last a full tour.
I think Navy SEALs have done it, and I forget exactly what happened, but they they do torture you so bad that 99% of people can't get through it. But then the people who it looked like would, they I think they've stopped it or something, been like, oh, we're going too crazy. It's over.
Yeah.
So they don't have to pay anybody.
Oh God. I did one in college once that was in the woods, and the drama school at where I went to college was big. So it was people were acting or whatever, and it was legitimately terrifying. It was in the woods of upstate New York, and they were they put my friends in a coffin, and it was terrifying, and they had cars driving in the wood. It was scary, and I don't know why I did it.
I don't get the appeal of how I've never been. I don't get the appeal of haunted houses, especially one like that where it's we're going to actually hurt you and torture you. I don't understand what the upside of that is. I don't understand what's so what people find appealing about something like that.
Dude, I have no idea. I was with someone who loves haunted houses, and apparently that really gets them going.
I don't like being scared. I don't like watching scary movies. None of that. I just don't understand the appeal of a haunted house.
Now, I will say, while I would never go to a haunted house as a patron, working at a haunted house seems kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Unless you're getting guns drawn on you, but just getting to scare the shit out of people, that sounds kind of fun.
Yeah, it's I think the same reason why some people are adrenaline junkies and jumping out of planes. It's the same reason why people love horrifying movies and
See, I love roller coasters and stuff. I don't know that I'd ever do skydiving, but I love roller coasters and stuff like that. I would never go to a haunted house.
So I think I'm going to a haunted house on Friday.
If
you
you
can make money is bringing a few people from the office, and she wants to film a video there. So
if you go with a bunch of the homies and y'all have some drinks before and stuff, this shit fun as hell. It's just super fun, man. If as long as you understand the premise, they can't touch you. You're not actually gonna get hurt. You be straight. It's fun, bro. Well, for me anyway. I don't like scary movies. Go ahead, Billy.
I think if I had some Coors Lights before it chilled out, it would have been better, but I was just stone cold sober, getting scared.
Okay. That will do it.
Just straight up fear. The worst part is like you can't do anything.
What does that mean?
Well, I was trapped. Like I had to go find the emergency exit to get out of there. That was like the worst part.
What was it? What was the villain that took you out?
It was a motel, and you were walking through different rooms in the motel, and there was like dead bodies on the beds, and it was the one that jumped out from behind the shower curtain, and the whole time I was like trying to get out, and it was the final straw. I was like, holy fuck, this is a bathroom. There's definitely someone behind the shower curtain. Boom, guy comes out of the shower curtain with a chainsaw. I'm like, what the fuck? I knock over the sink and like the wall that was like separate, like the fake wall that was separating the two buildings. And then I like finally found the emergency exit. I almost like jumped through the window. It was just, I had to get out of there. It was like more of like a claustrophobic, like what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, you too big to be like goofy like that.
I know, that's why I had to get out of there.
Knocking over buildings and shit. Break too big for that shit.
It was terrifying.
I think you also just become very paranoid. Like when we went to the Trump arraignment, you wanted to tackle some guy because he was wearing a mask and gloves, and you were like, he's about to shoot this place up. And I was like, we can't just tackle a stranger on the street. He actually has to do something first.
So you wouldn't kill baby Hitler?
Yeah, he was reaching into his backpack. Like it was in that moment we were either going to find out that we should have tackled him or that we had made a grave mistake. And I was ready to like be like, oh shit, sorry I tackled you, instead of, oh shit, we should have tackled him.
You would make a great horrible cop.
Exactly.
Yes. Yep.
So you wouldn't kill baby Hitler then?
I would kill baby Hitler. But
you just said they have to do something first.
Well, the thing is that opens a whole new box of worms because that's like the butterfly effect. You know, if I killed baby Hitler, you know, maybe Hitler wouldn't have rose to power, but like something equally horrible would happen around the world. And I wouldn't be born probably. You killed baby Hitler in the past, that leads to a bunch of shit happening where maybe I end up not being born.
So sounds like a lot of excuses to me.
Yeah.
You offered him, Big T?
I would help a teenage Hitler get into art school. I would, because yeah.
I know we talked about this, but he was not that bad of a painter, bro. He was a shitty human. It's horrible. But he could paint. Like he wasn't shitty at painting. I'm just saying.
Nobody loves separating the art from the artist more than Arian.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Like,
yeah. Like I still blast a lot of Kanye West's music, and do you think I'm judged for that?
No, had some great songs.
Heavy in my rotation. I love Kanye's one of the best artists of our generation. Might be the best artist of our generation. Like his catalog is undeniable. He's produced hits for other people. Like he's a musical genius. He just absolutely is. What he's able to do and change. He's all this new hip hop. They're all sons of Kanye. He's an absolute genius, but he's wild. He's a wild boy right now. Like I haven't heard much from him in a while, but
I just heard that
his wife's not allowed to talk.
Yes, yeah.
He what?
So I saw that headline. I didn't know he was married.
Yeah, he got remarried pretty fast, but yeah, apparently he has new rules for his wife that she's not allowed to talk.
Yo. What?
Maybe she can only speak when spoken to.
There's no way. Yes. Y'all are fucking with me.
No,
Kanye's wife can't talk. I mean, how did this come out? Because I ain't seen no interview with Buddy in a minute. So how does this come out?
So, he got remarried to basically a Kim K lookalike. They got caught in Venice, she was giving him head in a gondola, on a
water taxi.
What's a gondola?
A gondola is a boat that you have to row. They were in one of those like sleek motorboats, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that was happening. And apparently she's not allowed to talk. I think he basically was just like, I'm going to find someone who looks exactly like Kim K, but can't talk to me like Kim K did.
Maybe she's just not allowed to talk to the media.
Well, I mean, hold on. Where did this? How do you guys know that she can't tell? Where did this information come from?
It's been in headlines. Like Complex wrote an article. Kanye West allegedly orders wife Bianca Censori to never speak, among other rules.
I mean, I'm laughing, but it's not funny. But it's pretty on brand for Kanye, man. That's wild, dog.
Because he also had crazy rules for his school that he opened up. I think the kids were only allowed to eat sushi, and like they were only allowed to wear a certain colors to school. And he was getting. I think some of the former teachers of that school tried to sue him.
Jesus Christ!
Oh yeah, he didn't have any seats in the whole school. Yeah.
What does that even mean?
I think it was kind of like a Japanese style where there's no chairs. They can only just like sit on the ground.
Is that school still in operation?
Donda Academy? Yeah. Ye's school allegedly has no chairs, only sushi lunches. And some of the parents were like, I think my kid's going to get mercury poisoning if they only eat sushi every day.
Because I know they got some like 5-star basketball players to go there. Imagine like you're one of the top basketball recruits in the country and you show up to Kanye's school and they're like, hey, there's no chairs. We only eat fish.
It's just why I like the reasoning behind. I want to hear his reasoning behind the no. Like Kanye's an interesting cat, man.
He also.
Oh no, it's been shut down.
He just copyrighted the word YEW.
Oh yeah.
Way.
Now use so Jews with a Y instead of a J.
Oh, YEW.
Yeah, YEW. I think he's going to start using it on clothing and all sorts of stuff.
You?
I don't know how you pronounce it. Use?
I don't understand. What does that? What does that mean?
I don't know what it means. Some people think it's a reference to Jews, but I think it's just going to be one of his new brands.
God, he's just such a fucking head. He's so talented. I hate that shit, man. It's like he makes me feel guilty for enjoying his products. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
I wonder. It's crazy to think like if Kanye's mom didn't die tragically after a surgery, do you think he would be a completely different person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When did she die?
Because his mother helped him. It was right before 808s and Heartbreaks. So maybe 2007.
So he was still like not insane for a while after that.
Yes. So the leading theory is he's bipolar and he doesn't take his medication. I've had a few bipolar people very close to me in my life, and when they are on their medication, they're themselves, and it is definitely a task and a trial to find the correct medication, because for years one of the people that I was close to that was bipolar was on the wrong medication, and it was sending them kind of like haywire, and they would go up and down, and it was just a very traumatic experience for everybody that they're close to. But when they finally found the correct medication, they just bloomed into the beautiful human being that they are, and it allows them to regulate the chemicals in their brain that is kind of pushing them towards like the highs and the lows of the lows. And so I think, just from an outsider perspective, obviously I don't have insider knowledge, but it looks like he was struggling with what the medication was doing to him. He felt like it stifled him artistically, and he felt like that was the end of his journey, and he just refused to take any. And now you get the reactions of what the mental disability does to a person, and it's a scary set, because they don't have like a gauge when you're in like a manic state. There's like no gauge of like everybody else's normal reality, and so they struggle heavily with like gauging what is like proper candor in a social setting. Like that's out the window. It's just strict. What I'm experiencing is my reality, and they live in that. And it's a scary thing, and it's like sad to see somebody go through it. And publicly, it's really hard, I bet, on like people that love Kanye.
Yeah. Yeah, I had someone close to me have a manic episode as well. And I feel like social media now it really exacerbates the problem. Because in the past, if you had a manic episode, only like the people closest to you would know. But now with social media, you have an episode and you get on social media and just start posting like 1,000,000 times a day about all this crazy stuff. Then like everyone who follows you knows something's happening too.
Yeah, and that's kind of like where we're at, I think, as a society. Like if you um like analyze it, we're in the very beginning stages of the internet. Like I still feel like we're at the very beginning stages of trying to like figure out what to do with this thing. And that's a big aspect of it, is like everybody's, we all have that saying, right? Nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, but all our mistakes are recorded. And then and if that's all there to constantly remind somebody how they used to fuck up and they're like, it's just that it weighs on you and it gets very hard to move forward if you're trying to like do something and change positive. But I don't know, man. It's a weird time we're living in.
Yeah. Chandler Jones comes to mind recently in that same vein.
Was that the DN? He's been DN?
Yeah, the DN, John Jones's brother.
What happened?
He's gone off the D end.
Yeah. He's, been tweeting crazy stuff. I think he's been hospitalized. And like the Raiders cut him, and he's been, going after Mike McDaniels. He's been going after Taylor Lewan and saying Taylor Lewan knows, which he's a coworker. So it's kind of like, what the hell does Taylor Lewan have to do with it? Like Chandler Jones, I think was it Chandler Jones who had an amazing game against him when he was on the Cardinals?
I'm not sure.
Or is that Chris Jones? But had a crazy game against Taylor Lewan, and then he's now been tweeting at Taylor Lewan like, I want to come on Bussin' with the Boys to hash it out. And then he's like saying that there's people living in the sewers of Las Vegas, which is true.
Which is true.
An amazing video. That's what everyone was saying when he was like pointing at a manhole cover, and he was like, "They're down there, Master Splinter." And I was like, "Is that a Ninja Turtle reference or Donnie?" It's weird. I mean,
definitely a Ninja Turtle reference. So hold on, like I'm gonna back up. Like I understand he's going through it, but what do you mean there's people living in the sewers in Las Vegas? What is this? I've never heard of this.
Oh, there's a large community of homeless people that live in the tunnels below Las Vegas.
Really?
Yeah, and they have like a heroin tunnel where it's a lot of heroin addicts. It's a little more chilled out, but very messy. And then they have a meth tunnel where it's meth addicts, and they're actually like neat freaks and like sweep the tunnels and build these cute little homes down there. But yeah, they're all addicted to something. That's kind of how you end up in the sewer.
Wait, they segregate themselves by drug use?
Yeah, because like meth addicts don't want to hang out with heroin addicts. Heroin addicts don't want to hang out with meth addicts because they'll be too chatty and annoying.
Is there like a weed tunnel?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like, your vibe is your vibe,
I don't think there's a weed tunnel. I had someone who claimed that his friend went to Vegas and lost all of his money and was so embarrassed to come home that he just moved down in the tunnels for like 3 months. But I
never heard this is a real thing. I'm looking at pictures and there's like, they have like little communities down there.
Yeah. It's a real thing. I think when they built the Raiders stadium, they ended up having to like close down one of the tunnels because that's where the construction was happening. The scary thing is that obviously most of the time in Vegas, it's not raining a lot, but whenever there's torrential downpours, those tunnels flood. So I was talking to one of the dudes down there and he was like, yeah, the last flood, we all got swept down like a mile. So they kind of just like woke up and they were in a river in the tunnels and ended up maybe like a mile further down than where they had like originally set up camp.
What's the purpose of the tunnels to begin with?
I think storm drains probably.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was really
young for this. But Donnie, have you ever seen Demolition Man?
No, I've heard good things about the movie. I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, it's a dope movie, but I mean, it's basically the premise of Demolition Man. It was like they built, um, it was Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone, right? They were born in like 1996, and obviously back then in 1996, 2032 seemed like way ahead of the future, right? So like, I mean, that's what it's set. It's set in like 2032, where everything's like futuristic, and obviously we're not there.
Yeah.
But like, so there's this person who built like this utopian society where there's no crime, there's no violence, there's no cursing, everybody's just perfect. But and then they unfreeze them because they were like, one was a villain, one was a cop. I'm getting deep into the weeds of the movie, but like the premise of it was like there's this utopian society, and then underneath that utopian society there was people living what they were, they were living free, because he's like they're oppressed up there, and down here we're living free, and it was living in the tunnels, and there was eating rat burgers, and it's a dope movie, man. It's a really dope movie, but that shit is fucking exactly what's happened. That's crazy.
Yeah. And like the wild thing is some of the tunnels are literally right below the strip. So at one point we could look up through this storm drain and like see Caesar's Palace.
Oh, you went down there?
Yeah.
You're
I went down there.
fucking-
I found a charity there and reached out to them and was like, would you be willing to walk us down there? And they were like, yeah, as long as you can like donate $200 towards the charity, which is trying to help the people get out of the tunnels back into society.
Right.
So they took us down there and gave us a tour. At one point it was me, Chef Donnie, and then Vibs. And we were walking through the tunnels at one point, and I guess Chef Donnie accidentally filmed some dudes that were only down there to buy drugs. And one of the guys pulled out his gun. I had no idea. I couldn't see this happen. And it wasn't until after we left that they were like, dude, that guy just pulled a gun on you. Because like all of a sudden we showed up with a camera and he was probably like, what the fuck? Who are these guys?
Right.
But
Yeah.
I didn't even know it had happened at the time, so I wasn't scared.
Damn. Well, glad you made it out of there, fam. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't
There was one, I mean, we met this one couple down there. It was him and his wife. They were both from Hawaii, and they were both addicted to meth. And he was also addicted to playing Keno. So I guess it like blew all of his money playing Keno and meth. But they had actually like a nice little spot down there. They had a kitchen, a little bathroom with like a shower, like a giant tank of water that could then be like poured out like a shower, 2 beds, and the wife was just constantly tidying it up. So if you're gonna live in the tunnels, yeah.
how did they eat? Like what do they like what is their, I guess, go to for food?
I don't know. I know they find a lot of stuff in the dumpsters, but that's more furniture. I hope they're not getting all their food from the dumpsters.
Yeah.
Maybe they just like send someone up to the In-N-Out Burger or something like that.
I mean, there's got to be shelters that give out meals. There was a article about in New York City about how you could survive if you had zero income, and basically it's like I don't know if Las Vegas does it, but this is why they tell you not to give money to panhandlers, because there's, at least in New York City, because there's shelters that give out 3 square meals a day, and that everyone has like a right to food, and that most of the money used by them will probably go to drugs. But you could, like, if you're not paying rent, you could survive. Like, I know in New York City, down in some old abandoned subway tunnels, there's tons of communities like that, and in sewers. And like that was the premise of like the urban legend, that a guy who was like sewer surfing, I think, which is just like exploring sewers that have been abandoned, got eaten by like a bunch of rats, and like found these like man-eating rats down in the New York City sewers.
Man-eating rats. That strikes me as an odd sentence.
Yeah, because it was a bunch of rats who like attacked and ate a homeless dude, according to urban legend.
I could see if the homeless guy was asleep, like the rats might start nibbling on him while he's sleeping.
Yeah, I mean, I think rats like just be hungry, and maybe he was just there. I've never heard of a rat attack.
No, it was a guy either overdosed or he was, unconscious, high, and he got eaten by a bunch of rats.
Yeah. I think they were just eating rats. I don't think they were man-eating. Like they just was packing.
Yeah, but like the legend
around hunting humans. I've never seen that shit.
Man-eating rats.
That's a wild sentence to me. Though.
I think just New York. Yeah, New York rats will eat whatever they find, as long as it's not like moving.
Yeah, but like the urban legend is that there's like dog-sized rats that got big off of eating homeless people.
Yeah, I mean, there are dog-sized rats in New York. I've seen like ones the size of small dogs.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw one definitely the size of a cat one time that was dead.
New York, I mean, you guys should watch the documentary Rats by Morgan Spurlock. They're fucking smart.
Yeah.
Rats are the shit, bro. They're smart, they're resourceful, they can maneuver, their bodies can form in hella ways, they can hold their breath for hella long. Like rats are kind of like some of the best survivors on the earth. They were cockroaches, man, crocodiles.
Mm-hmm. And if like one of the rats eats poison, then all the other rats will learn, okay, there's poison here, avoid that.
So sometimes they'll like eat small amounts of poison to like build up their tolerance.
That sounds like
a vaccine.
Rats out here with poison vaccines.
Yeah. They're getting vaxxed. There's nothing scarier than a vaxxed inoculation, rat.
Right? That shit was funny as fuck. That's hilarious, though. And you got the other rats saying it doesn't do anything.
What's that thing that they form too? Don't they form like a rat tornado?
King. The rat.
Oh
king.
Yeah, a rat king.
The rat king is when their tails get tangled up in like a knot, basically. And I think the sign of a rat king is like, yeah. So there's only been a couple of examples, but so you know how stuff like when you put headphones with wires in your pocket, they naturally get tangled up.
Yep.
I don't know about naturally, but yeah.
Or like Christmas lights.
Yeah.
Well, the same concept. The same concept happens to rat tails when they're all in a certain place and they're too crowded together. Their tails get tangled up into they get tied in a knot, and that makes a rat king. And then they've like back in the plague, rat kings are like the worst things ever, and literally like they're just running around with all their tails tied together, and it's like supposed to be a super bad omen.
Yeah.
How do they remedy that situation?
Well, I think they just kill the rats.
Yeah, you just gotta drop a bomb on it.
Yeah.
That shit nasty, bro. Oh wow. Okay, I'm looking at pictures, dog.
Yeah.
Even if it's just and they just be chilling.
They're scary looking.
Yeah, rats are nasty, dog.
Haven't seen any of those in Chicago so far. That's a plus.
There's more rats in Chicago.
But I have heard, apparently there's like more rats in Chicago than New York.
I will vehemently dispute that.
They all live in the alleys, in the trash.
Well, that's kind of, because I haven't really been seeing them. In New York, you see them all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, this says there's an estimated 3 million rats in New York City. Which I would have thought it was more. I always heard there were more rats than people. It does say that's a 50% decrease.
Oh, all right. So are we winning the war against rats?
In New York, it seems to be that way. I'm not finding a number for Chicago. Here says, okay, maybe this says 2.7 in 2019, so maybe it's about the same.
Well, I think per capita, there's more rats in Chicago.
Sure, that's not.
What is the metric on how we're gauging how many rats there are? Like, how do we conduct this?
That's a good question.
I think they like survey a block, and then they multiply it by how many blocks there are in the city.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like, so we got like man's like actually with a clipboard or whatever, going into like a trash heap and
Yeah.
counting the rat. You know what I'm saying? Like, how does this?
Well, I mean, there's been ratters. They've been around for centuries, but the ways we've invented to kill rats is actually insane. There's ferretry where they send ferrets after the rats. There's cats, of course. There's ratting dogs. So like some small terriers were rat terriers, and they were specifically bred to kill rats.
Good
And
dogs.
then there's what's up?
Good dogs, rat terriers.
Yeah. And then they used to gamble on rat terriers. They used to like throw a rat terrier in a pit of rats and gamble on how many rats it could kill. And there was one rat terrier, like there's like a legend that he killed like 1,000 rats in an hour.
Holy shit, the goat.
I mean,
Yeah,
that should be the Rat King.
Yeah. Okay. A rat terrier holds the rat killing record of 2,501 rats in a 7-hour period in an infested barn. So like, just imagine the rat terrier with like a white card that says 2501.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, dude, rat terriers. So what was its name? President Theodore Roosevelt hunted with these. Okay, wait. Who's the record holder? Oh, it was a dog named Billy.
Let's go. Billy the Rat King.
Billy the rat terrier killed 100 rats in 5 minutes and 30 seconds.
Rat
That's the
terrier
record.
Look like. Okay.
For
That
fastest
sounds
to
like
100.
What? That had to be like all right in the same room.
Yeah, it was in a pit. They just throw it in a pit.
Okay, yeah. Well, that makes sense. Not that impressive then. I thought you have to seek out 100 rats. That's crazy.
It seems like rat terriers are mainly used on farms where like I wonder
Yeah.
how they would do in like urban warfare.
In the city.
Yeah.
So Tiny, a famous Manchester Terrier, was the one that killed 200 an hour, and he got to the 2,500.
So do they eat them or do they just like
Snap
bite
their
them?
neck. Just. I just want to talk to you about Straight Talk. The new Straight Talk wireless offering is now available, where you can get a Walmart Plus membership included on select Straight Talk wireless plans for free. Only Straight Talk Wireless gives you an unlimited data, talk, and text, plus a Walmart Plus membership included on select plans for free. Some of the perks of Walmart Plus through select Straight Talk wireless plans are free delivery from Walmart stores, free shipping, no order minimum, Paramount Plus membership, and member prices on fuel, gas savings. Straight Talk Wireless is available at Walmart and walmart.com. Check it out. And now, back to macrodosing.
So I'm gonna pivot right here, but I've recently I think I've changed my mind on chiropractors. Like, whereas before I was like, there's not much evidence for it, like, which is still true. There's not a lot of evidence linking its benefits other than like, placebo, where it feels good. People report feeling better afterwards, but like does it actually help spine health? I don't know, man. I've been watching a lot of videos and like it and along with my experience, I think this shit works. I do think this shit works. I don't have any evidence to back it up though. It feels amazing, and the more, like, you'll see people going there who can barely move, and then they loosen up afterwards. And I think if they continue to do that, they'll see positive benefits. But
I love those videos, but I'd be like terrified to go to a chiropractor.
oh, you've never been?
No.
Oh, you'll love it, dog.
Like, I like getting
That's
my
a
back
video,
cracked
bruh.
and stuff, but like when they like twist their neck and shit, I'm like, how does that not go wrong?
So a lot
Just get
of
executed.
a lot of doctors will look at those videos like, what the fuck is, like, actual doctor, like spine doctors, like,
Right.
like PhD, them, they be like, what the fuck is that? Like, there's no, like, I watched one dude's reaction to because there's this one technique that they do where they lay you on a table like vertically, and then they kind of have somebody or something hold your lower extremity, and then they pull your neck and your spine, and so you kind of just lifts, and it elongates the spine. And what they say is, describe it as, it popped all the way down. I felt it all the way down in my butt. Everything popped, and like, they love it. And like, there's a little bit of a pain, And I was watching this dude react to it. And he was like, "Yeah, there's a term for that." And I don't remember the term, but he was like, "It's a reaction that your spine has to a traumatic event." He's like that. He's like, "That's bad." He's like, "That's not good." He's like, "There's no way to gauge." He made a good point. He's like, "There's no way to gauge." He's like, "I've seen this movement done 4 or 5 times on 4 or 5 different patients." He was like, "How do you gauge what patient needs it, what patient doesn't need it?" He said applying the same amount of force to somebody with different ailments in the spine. He's like, this doesn't make any sense, which I can't disagree with, but like, I guess it just feels good. I've never had that one done to me, but I've had my back crack, I don't know how many times, and it just you feel loose afterwards. I don't know.
So did you just start going like recently?
No. I've been a chiropractor since I was in college. Like they have them on, they have them on staff. They would come like every like Tuesdays, Thursdays, and you would get your back crack. And then before the games, they would have one in there. Halftime, you get readjusted. I've been going forever, and it's always felt good to me. But I don't know. The science ain't matching the feels, man. I don't know.
So you said you recently changed your opinion.
Yeah. So no, I've always known it felt good. I never cared to look at, is it good for you? I figured if a medical staff says it's good, I never really looked into it. So, but once I started looking into it, I realized it's not necessarily, there's no real science that backs it. Like it's not settled. It's not saying like, yo, there's positive, boom, boom, boom. And so a lot of doctors, not all, but a lot of doctors will rail against it and say, please don't go to a chiropractor. Please don't move your spine in this angle. Like this is bad. Like those, like every so often you'll see that shit. And then, but like the more and more I don't know, man, this is maybe my only anti-science take where I'm like, that shit, it feels so good, man. It's just, there's nothing feel you laying down and they pop that shit and you just like, yo, relief.
I've always felt good after leaving the chiropractor, but like I have heard horror stories where someone goes once and it fucks up their back forever.
Yeah. There are those. Yeah. And that's what they warn against. Yeah. And that, I think that's the thing. There's no real way to gauge like how much force to exert on something because they all kind of have the same movements. Like, so I understand exactly what the doctor's saying, but I think for me, it just feels good. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to say it.
I mean, cracking your knuckles feels good.
Anything really. Like,
and I think maybe once you go once, you have to keep on going to feel good. Because it's kind of like once you smoke one cigarette, then you gotta keep on smoking them just to get back to baseline. Maybe it's like that with chiropractors. Once you crack, you always go back.
What kind of certification do they have?
They go to school. They go to school for like I think it's like 2 or 3 years. It's like chiropractor school, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think you have to go to school. You have to be certified to do it. You can't just be cracking people's backs.
But they're not doctors.
They're not. They're not doctors in the sense of like going to medical school and they do a what's that called? Residency, all of that stuff. It's not the same.
They earn a doctor of chiropractic degree, which typically takes about 4 years and obtains state licensure. I don't know what chiropractors are making, but I'd imagine on average it's probably not what medical doctors are making. And if you're going to chiropractor school for 4 years, you should just go to medical school. Well, you obviously after that you have to do residency and all that stuff that takes another 8 years. But like,
well, that's what I think. I like I said, I don't know enough about it, but I would think that I don't think it's a practice that is like, I don't know. I don't think it's like, I want to be a heart surgeon. I don't think it's a practice in the medical field where people,
right?
Because like I said, I don't think the science is settled on this can actually, benefit. Like I think I don't know. Actually, it's actually interesting. I would like to talk to a chiropractor. If there's any chiropractors out there, or doctors out there against it.
There's this guy Tom. He came into the Barstool New York office twice and gave everybody a free chiropractic session. And he's a huge fan of Barstool, so he would come on the pod whenever.
Yeah. I have his number. I'll text him.
I'm actually seeing some great numbers for chiropractor salaries, so maybe I was wrong.
What is him for?
This says in Chicago. Obviously, it's going to be higher in Chicago than other places, but like 140 to 220.
Well, if you get clients, it's killer.
I'm seeing a median of about 80 across the country.
Well, you know what did officially work? And actually, I want to announce it today. I can eat red meat again because of acupuncture.
Shit. Holy shit. Homeopathic remedies.
Yeah, they put a needle in my ear, 3 weeks, took the needle out. I ate red meat, slowly started eating red meat again, and I haven't had a reaction. So that's fucking nuts.
So I think you just might be so paranoid that when you got bit by a tick, you were like, oh shit, I got that disease where I can't eat red meat. And your brain just believed it so much that you started breaking out into hives every time you ate red meat.
No, because I actually got a test done and it showed I had the antibodies.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah. Wild.
So, hold on. What, did you recently develop the antibodies?
Yeah, after I got bit by the Lone Star tick. So like almost a year and a half ago, I got bit by this tick. And then remember when I was having those rashes and you're like, don't come near me. Are you contagious?
I remember that vividly, yes.
That was red meat allergy. And I kicked it. So it's like insane, like how this shit, like it isn't science, but it works.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This is why I'm skeptical when I hear stuff like this. So have you heard or done any research? Because I don't know. This is just me. This is my skeptic mind kicking in. Do those antibodies suddenly flare up, and then can they go away on their own since they came on their own?
So they came with the tick, but literally I did.
Okay,
so if I didn't do this treatment, then maybe in 5 to 10 years it would go away. That's what a lot of the people with these symptoms report. But this just went away after I did the treatment for 3 weeks. Like literally, I thought it was witch doctor stuff. I thought it was crazy, but I went and I got it done and it worked. Like I can eat red meat again.
All right. This is me asking you really to be investigative here. What about the needle in your ear correlates to the antibodies no longer being present in your system? Like how are those related?
I don't know. I really don't know. But according to auricular acupuncture, which is where they put needles in your ear, there's like a certain point that has to do with allergies. And it's supposed to make your allergies better. And they hit that point and they did this weird test with like a metal rod and this machine and like testing the strength in my fingers. And from there, they were able to figure out a point in my ear that they stuck a needle, and there was a needle in my ear for 3 weeks. And now I've been cured, which is insane. I literally was like, I'm going to do this. I'll try to make it content. And there's a video coming out soon, but I had no expectation of it actually working, but it was literally the only thing that people said worked. So I did it because I want to eat red meat again. And it seemingly has. I ate a burger over the weekend. I ate Chipotle yesterday. Like it's going well.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely skeptical, but I'm glad you're feeling better, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's insane, right? I mean, there was one paper out on it. I really want to know how it works scientifically, because like, is there just some part of science that like maybe has the ability to help so many other things like autoimmune disorders that we just haven't explored, that like acupuncture is like backdoor figured out? Because like, it's insane how this has worked.
Yeah. And you're not the only person who I've heard from that has said acupuncture worked really well for them.
Yeah. Especially for this like alpha-gal red meat allergy. In high school, our lacrosse goalie got like hit in the arm really hard with a ball, and he couldn't move his arm. And we had the state championship coming up, and the coach was trying everything, and like he still couldn't move his arm. So then he sent the kid in to get some acupuncture, and that was the one thing that sort of helped. He got more flexibility in his arm, and we won the state championship. Like, how the hell does that work? I think
Something
chiropractor. What's the practice of chiropractic? Is it chiropractic? What?
For sure not that.
Yes.
Yeah, but like I'm studying chiropractics.
Chiropractic.
Probably. I don't know. While you look that up real quick, we got a new sponsor on the show. They're the sponsor of the Tennessee Minute. It's Pie Wine. If you're watching on YouTube, I've got it right here. Pie Wine was created to go with your pizza. Slightly sweet, slightly sparkling, and the first official drink of pizza. Unlike canned seltzers, each can of Pie Wine equals 2 glasses of wine with alcohol content between 10.5% and 13.5%. This one I have here is 13.1. So pizza becomes a pizza party very quickly. It's featured on Shark Tank, where Mark Cuban and Mr. Wonderful love the product. The sharks know what's up, and now you do too. Pie Wine is pizza's new side piece. When you think pizza, you need to think Pie Wine, the OG pizza wine, loved by people who don't usually drink wine and accepted as the official wine of pizza. That's definitely true. I had this the other day. I had some pizza and pie wine while I was watching college football. I don't like wine very much, but this was very good. Pie Wine turns pizza into a pizza party started by 2 best friends and stoolies. Pie Wine elevates your slice and turns pizza night into the greatest night of the week. Pie Wine, pizza's new side piece. Visit piewine.com, piewine.com.
It comes in red and white.
Yeah, I have world famous red here. I didn't know it had white, but yeah, they're going to sponsor the Tennessee Minute, which is awesome. Tennessee Minute is very quick today because we didn't have a game last week, but we do have one this week against Texas A&M. Big game. Arian's going to be there. Checker Neyland, huge game. If we win this one, get to 5-1 going into Bama. They're retiring Eric Berry's number. Crowd's going to be juiced. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, so am I. I will also be juiced.
Oh, yeah.
So Eric Berry's number's getting tired. That's my homie. So a lot of fellas going to go in. It's going to be a fun game. I have not watched Texas A&M play. What they reckon there?
They are 4-1 or 5-1 also. They
nice little game there. Okay.
No. They're 4-2 because they lost to Miami and then they lost to Bama this week. They're good though. They're a solid team.
Yeah.
Defense is really good. They're on their backup quarterback, but their backup quarterback started at LSU a couple years ago. He's solid. It's going to be a really good game. UT minus 3.5 right now.
Does that mean they're slotted to lose?
No, that means they're a 3.5-point favorite.
Okay, see, I don't know enough about gambling. Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so it's going to be a really good game.
Love
Are you
to
going to
see
be
it,
there?
man.
TBD.
Okay.
TBD. Yeah, gonna be fun, man. And nothing else popping on the Tennessee front? No, I don't know. You keep it
Basketball
up.
less than 30 days away.
When does the NBA start?
Preseason's already started. Regular season starts in like a week or two.
Wow, it's about to be popping. Yeah.
This is the best sports time of the year.
You are kind of glowing right now.
Football, baseball playoffs, start of NBA and NHL.
Fall, bruh.
It's gotten chilly here in Chicago. It's
Friday was the first fall day.
Yeah, I think shorts are Dunsky now.
Yeah, so like I stepped outside. I stepped outside and it was like 70 something. And I was like, this is a cold front. I ain't felt it this cold in I don't know how long in Houston. It feels amazing. Amazing golf weather.
70, I think, is the perfect temp just in general for life. Humans thrive in 70 degrees.
I would agree. I tend to prefer it more cold, but like I would never argue with a 70s day. Like you're not uncomfortable either way. You're not uncomfortably cold or uncomfortably hot.
You like it cold?
I do like cold, yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
he doesn't like it real cold.
Right. Like I'm very interested to hear that because you've never lived
Alaska,
anywhere that's cold.
Igloo. Yeah, that's not true. I lived in Tennessee for a while, and it gets cold.
Knoxville does get cold in the winter, but not compared
to
Chicago. But in the
Snow.
summer, it's
You like 32 degrees?
That's where water freezes.
Do you like that though?
I mean, I like it cold. I like cold weather. I like waking up in the morning and opening my door, and it's freezing outside, and it's warm inside, and you got some hot chocolate brewing or something. You know what I'm saying? And like I can step outside in my robe, butt naked underneath, and some slippers outside, and it just smells like Christmas. Smells like winter. Yeah, I love that.
I feel like his idea of cold is 50 degrees.
Is like what it is outside right now.
Yeah.
And I do enjoy that. There's a time and a place for that.
Oh, wait, hold on. What's the temp in Chicago right now?
52.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like cold. Like I do. I mean, I don't like yo, I'm finna get frostbite cold. Like, no, that's crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't like frigid temperatures where, you know what I'm saying? Nah, but I like it when it's you gotta wear a jacket outside. The hoodie season is upon us. Like, yeah, I like it, man. It's not normal. Most my people we like it warm. I've always been the opposite, but I've also been in Houston for I don't know since 2009, and the heat here is egregious.
Yeah,
it's disgusting, and so I've kind of grown to like the opposite.
What's the Houston coast like? Because you would say Houston's like a coastal city.
Yeah, they call it third coast.
Yeah.
The Gulf, they call it the Gulf. In Galveston, it's trash. It's the water's nasty. The water's brown. It's not like a Florida or California. I mean, California kind of dirty, like on the coast too. It's not like super. It's not like blue water, like a Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, no. I mean, I don't go down there. I know people like to go down there, but and no disrespect to people that live down there. I'm just saying, it's like when you've been on like real beaches and then you go to like a Galveston beach. It's not.
Yeah.
It just ain't what it is actually. So.
What's that spot? South Padre Island. Have you ever been there?
I have been there one time, and that's cool. That's dope. I take that some of that back. That's a pretty dope place. But again, it's just like it's like a little spot where it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. From my experience, some people may have other experiences. More power to you. Did y'all listen to the new Drake album?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did.
So I have not. I probably haven't listened to Drake since like 2018 or so. Fair. But what are you a Drake like sycophant? Are you a hater? So I ask because I've got a friend. Well, I'm asking because
you take me as a hater, bro?
No, I'm asking. Are you like a Drake stan? Are you where do you fall?
I enjoy quality music, and so I'm very unbiased as to my feelings about the artist. As you know, I can separate the art from the artist. Like it doesn't matter how I feel about you as a human. If you make something that I enjoy, I will absolutely consume it. And so same with Drake. I don't necessarily. I can't relate to his content, like as far as like the content of his music. Like his entire career is kind of like built on like, woe is me, I'm rich. You know what I mean? Like I can't relate to that feeling. Like I just don't feel the same about like my life experiences, and like a lot of his like it's about like, you know, he's sad about like women, and like I just can't relate to his content in that manner. But he's a very talented artist, like one of the most talented hook writers I would say of all time. Like unreal melodies, like, and he got bars. So I like that Drake. I like the bar Drake. When he rapping, I love that Drake. He could go. But like when he gets into his like singy song bag, it's just not for me.
Do you think he's a culture vulture?
In that aspect, yeah. Yeah. I don't think he's not from. He's from Canada. I know they have specific areas there that are urban, you know, but I don't think he's from that ilk. I think he was kind of adopted from like the Lil Wayne when he signed with Lil Wayne, and Lil Wayne kind of showed him that life, and then he kind of took over that persona. Which, yeah, I'm not here to judge. Do you think? But it's, like I said, some of his content just say for me, like it's some of the stuff he says just isn't very believable or relatable. So it's like it's a hit or miss with him. But I start my premises. I think he's talented as shit. I always wonder if he signed, because when he dropped his first mixtape, well, the mixtape that got him like notoriety, he literally had a choice of whatever label he wanted to sign to, whoever he wanted to sign to, and this was at a time when people were still signing labels like that. But he had his pick of the litter. People was flying him out, offering him the kitchen sink. And I often wonder if he wouldn't have signed with Wayne, because Wayne was like at the top of the game at the time, like around 2008, 7-ish. That was Wayne's game. And Wayne was he's a GOAT, he's a legend. He got bars. But I think his main goal was like, let's get this money. Let's stay relevant on the charts. I think that was Wayne's goal. He had an opportunity to sign with Kanye at the time, which Kanye was up there as well. But I feel like Kanye's creative directive is much more different than Wayne's. Wayne's like, let's push out as much product and let's get this shit going. Whereas Kanye's like, let's make the best quality shit that we can make. And I feel like if Drake would have signed with somebody like Kanye, like I feel like his catalog would have been extremely different.
You think it would have been better?
I do. Yeah, I do. Because like, I mean, think about it, like a lot of Drake's music is like, I would say it's like stuff that like it's stuff that he's experienced, obviously, but it's like stuff that I don't think like, I don't know. I think I'll say like this. I think Kanye could have pulled the art and took it to it like the next level. That's what Kanye does. Like Kanye is why I think he's a musical genius. He like taps into like artists and himself, and he pushes the mold. That's what he does. He like pushes. He has pushed hip hop into a realm. It's like, you know, that soulful sample chop. Like he created that genre. He created that lane, and then 808s and Heartbreak spawned a whole new generation of like Kid Cudi's and Drake, and like that's Kanye. And so like if Drake is under Kanye's tutelage, like I just feel like the music would have been a lot more quality.
What do you think of Drake's tummy issues?
What?
I feel like I follow Drake. I haven't heard anything about this.
Drake's got some stomach problems, and he's taking off of music for a year to deal with tummy issues.
What are you talking about, man?
This is true. This is dead ass true. He's taking a year off of music to take care of his health and his stomach pain.
He's taken the last few years off, to be fair.
Nah, he's been pumping out hits.
It was hits.
Drake?
What was Drake's last hit?
I just find it
Talk
really
that
fun.
shit, Big T. Talk that shit.
He's had a bunch.
So many you're struggling to name them?
Well, I mean, his last big hit, I mean, I feel like, well, but like when he put out that album with 21 Savage, like that was well received. People loved it. It might not be played on the radio, but people are playing it. In terms of
hype Drake,
yeah, I wish
trophies.
I wish he dropped more bars on this last album. I would say more than like 70%. He's just crooning, and it's really like R&B. I think J. Cole may have had the hardest verse on the whole album. Do you agree with that, Arian?
There's no question about that. No question about that.
Yeah.
That J. Cole. J. Cole's scary. Like his last like 3 or 4 features have been insane. Like so he was on that joint with Drake, and he was on that joint with Dirk.
Yeah.
And like he's just and then this last one he was on the joint with Lil Yachty, which shout out to Lil Yachty. He's grown. I've never even checked for him, but I listened to that song on the strength of J. Cole. And he was snapping. It's a dope song, dope video. Shout out to that. Like, so I might have to double back on his catalog because I slept on him. But J. Cole's last like 3 or 4 features have been insane, and he's teasing like a new project. Like I'm excited for that. Like, cause I'm a J. Cole fan. I don't understand the hate that he gets, but I'm a J. Cole fan, and he's a good solid cat. You can tell, man.
Yeah, I don't think J. Cole really. I know he has gotten a lot of hate in the past, but I think he's now kind of like won everyone back, and now most people love J. Cole.
I think it's just like anything on the internet, man. Like sometimes it becomes cool to hate certain things. Like it's like for whatever reason. That's a white thing. I don't know nothing about that. But like I was never in on like hating or loving. I just don't understand. I don't know. But like I understand it's probably there. But like for a while, like it was cool for like to be like J. Cole's boring. Like I didn't never understand it. Like because I listen to music for different reasons than most people. And so like he got a lot of like that. It was like J. Cole's boring. I sleep, and that was the thing. It's like for a while, like people were like Drake is soft, and so listen, he's soft. Listen to his music. Is you soft. That was a thing too for a while. It's just every now and then the internet picks a victim and they go after him. I think, but now he a legend. And him, Kendrick, Drake. I think them the top 3 of their generation for sure.
I think they were all signed around the same time. It was kind of like Kanye signed Big Sean, Lil Wayne signed Drake, Jay-Z signed J. Cole, and
shelved him though.
Yeah,
Jay-Z shelved J. Cole. Yeah, but which is whack. But because he put out the warm up, I didn't know you was up on rap like this, Donnie. But he put out the warm up, which was fire. But like it wasn't an album. It was like they considered it a mixtape. And another one, the Friday Night Lights was, I think it was. Friday Night Lights was what?
Yeah.
And he was going since then. But
I'm About to Blow Up by J. Cole. Was that one off his first?
Yeah, that's on Friday Night Lights, I believe.
I love that song.
That's when it wasn't even an album. His first album, I think, was Born Center. I believe.
No, that was his second album. His first album was The Sideline Story, something like that.
You sure?
It had that in, like, his first official album. It was called Cole World, The Sideline Story.
The last thing J. Cole dropped was Colin Kaepernick's letter to the Jets.
Yeah.
In terms of you saying Drake's a culture vulture, you know how he always has like Jamaican slang. So Toronto, I guess, is the most Jamaican part of North America.
They
besides Jamaica.
Yes, they have that subsection for sure. Yeah.
So yeah, and like he's not Jamaican at all, but I think that's why he just like
it's not just that
Jamaican in songs.
Yeah, it's not just that people accuse him of like. I mean, obviously, if you look at Drake's old interviews, none of that was prevalent. Like, and there was a dude. The reason why I know about it is because there's a dude I used to listen to when I was in high school. And this was like 2003, 2002. There's a dude by the name of Cardinal Official. Official. Yeah, he's from Canada, and he had that like Jamaican, which I never really understood because I didn't at the time. And the internet was kind of not really like, like that. So I wasn't really searching for him like that. But I came across his album. I liked it. And so like, but I knew there was like some kind of Jamaican influence there. So like when Drake first comes out, you ain't talking like that. You ain't, you know what I'm saying? And there's no disrespect. Like I don't got nothing against, but maybe you found that, group of people later and you took on you know what I'm saying? But like, it's not just that they accuse him of like taking people's flows, kind of high. I think, man, this was Joe Budden's critique on, Drake recently that got him in like.
Be careful what you say, Aaron. You don't want Drake coming after macrodosing.
I do.
That'd be great.
Outstanding for this show.
He was pissed at Joe Budden.
Yeah, no, he's pissed. He wrote a whole thing like under some Instagram post. I know last night I was taking my kids to a pumpkin patch and I was listening to the audio. And so Joe Budden's my dude and he always stirring up shit. He likes Drake, but I think he's a very solid critique, right? His critique was, and it's my critique with rap and rappers in general, is like this society kind of makes you have to want to stay relevant. And so in order to stay relevant, you have to stay on top of what's new and what's popping with the younger culture. And Joe Budden was like, Drake, you 37 years old. Like go hang out with folks that's your age. Like go like make content for people that's your age. Like he's like, I'm not interested in like party rapping Drake anymore. And like I relate to that. I understand that shit. And this is why like I love, and I think 444 was Jay-Z's best album, right? Which is another controversial take. But I think it's his best album because it shows the growth of a man in hip hop, where hip hop was usually a young man's sport, right? It talks about, his struggles with infidelity. It talks about his struggles with him as a husband, his struggles with him as a businessman, going through as an adult, is looking at like kind of putting some of the street stuff behind him. Like that, to me, that is what's powerful about art, is you can relate your experience through the world. But like if you are old head still talking about young nigga shit, it's just not, I can't really relate to that. Or maybe I just admire the growth more. And I think that's what Joe Budden's critique was like. I would like to see the growth in Drake, like as a human, and let that be relayed through the art. So I understood his critique. I don't know why he got so upset. I don't know. He struck a chord. I don't know.
A Drake album about how much he loves like mowing the lawn and playing golf would be awesome.
It'd be lit.
37-year-old shit.
That'd be fire.
Pickleball.
Like, I don't think it's that. I don't think. I mean, golf is like a, it's not an old person thing, man. It's a universally loved thing. We can all agree.
I agree. Like, I like golf, but I mean, it's predominantly played by 35 to 65-year-old men.
You know why?
It's the rich man's game.
Yeah.
You got to have money to play golf.
It's a class.
I'm glad I don't love golf that much. I'd have no money.
Yeah.
Hey, I was watching this one thing. This dude, it's a YouTube channel called Bob Does Sports.
Mm-hmm.
And they do this golf. They do a whole bunch of golf challenges, but they had this one where they would like drink a thing of Guinness. I guess it's a pint, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Every hole. You know what I mean? I think that would be fun if we did that. Like me, all of us, and we go out, play around a golf, and then we drink every hole. That would be fun. That would be fun as shit. And we do like a scramble, like best ball scramble. So like you ain't got to worry about getting your ball to the hole. It's like we'll just take the best ball and best shot. Y'all down?
I need to learn how to play golf.
Yeah, I do think eventually every podcast at Barstool is going to become a golf podcast.
That's just life. That's growth. That's growth.
It's growth because once you play once, you're like, what if I could just do this as my job? RFK has announced he's running as an independent candidate. Officially.
So did Cornel West. He was running with the Green Party, and he dropped that, and he's running independent.
Apparently, even some members of his own family don't support him running.
Yeah, I saw his.
RFK?
They released a statement. Like
Kathleen Kennedy released a statement.
it was like all of his siblings. They all like co-signed it.
I didn't know. What? I thought.
They were
like
like
the Kennedys like stuck together.
They were like, our father would not support this. Like this guy is ruining the legacy of.
Jeez, yeah. This goes statement on Robert F. Kennedy. The decision of our brother Bobby to run as a third-party candidate against Joe Biden is dangerous to our country. Bobby might share the same name as our father, but he does not share the same values, vision, or judgment. Today's announcement is deeply saddening for us. We denounce his candidacy and believe it to be perilous for our country. Damn. His family fucking threw him under the bus.
Gonna be hard to win over the country when you can't win over your own family.
Yeah, I mean, is he still like allowed at their compound in Hyannis on the Cape? Because they got a nice Martha's Vineyard compound, a Cape compound. Is he just blackballed from that too?
I think he was blackballed before.
I would love to be in that group chat to just, you know what I'm saying? Just like, because, for them to put out a statement, they had to holler at him. They had to like reach out to him like, hey, what you doing, yo? Like, what you doing? And like, so the whole group chat probably fire. And then it probably ended in, you're a fucking idiot. You've always been an idiot ever since you took my Superman tour. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's probably, group chat probably cracked.
Did they say this when he was running as a Democrat, or is it only now that he's like...
Yeah, I mean, that might be the problem.
Nah.
I didn't know he had so much beef with the rest of his family.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it has anything to do with Democrat. I think Democrats, which it sounds like the Kennedys are, Democrats are vehemently against, anybody, which is the same. This is what bothers me about Democrats is like they was mad at Trump not showing up to any Republican primaries. Nobody wanted to run. The GOP didn't want to put anybody against Trump. Same thing with Democrats. They don't want anybody to run against Joe Biden. Like same bullshit.
I don't think it's going to end up being Biden, but they don't want anybody to run against Gavin Newsom.
It's absolutely going to be Biden.
Did you watch Newsom went on Sean Hannity after the last Republican debate? It seemed very prepping a potential presidential run to me.
I mean, that could be the case. I have not seen that. I know he absolutely will be the presidential nominee or the candidate in the next election. It was, from my vantage point, from what I've seen so far, they want to continue to push this Skeletor.
Well, and he's going to debate Ron DeSantis soon, which would be like an odd thing to do for someone who has no aspirations of running for president.
I don't think in this election. I think he just wants to shelf Ron DeSantis. I mean, you could be correct, but I haven't seen that from the Democratic Party. From what I've seen, they want to continue to push Biden. He said he's running again.
Well, stick him in a room and tell him he's still the president, he'd be none the wiser.
Well, I mean, dude, I don't know about Biden's cabinet. Have you even they're literally investigating some of Biden's cabinet members for being Iranian spies right now.
Okay, let's get into it, Billy.
No, seriously, like it has to like I'm just reading what but apparently some of the people that helped negotiate some of the money that was sent to Iran recently, which may have ended
Great
up in
plan.
Hamas hands.
Yeah, because Iran has always supported Hamas. So
Yeah.
maybe did like Biden end up like funding this attack?
Yeah, that's basically what a lot of people like.
What? Yeah, that's what I've seen a lot of people saying that
So
online.
yeah, I mean
haven't
that's
done the
a
research.
reasonable conclusion. But what are you talking about? Iranian spies? This is the first I've heard of.
So basically, the person who was advising Biden, Senator Blinken hired a group of. Let me find it exactly because I don't want to get it wrong.
Are you looking for that? I did read an article recently that said gas prices about to hike up because of this, because of I guess because we deal with Iran as well, and so I think we're gonna like put like sanctions on them for supporting Hamas because we obviously support Israel, and so gas prices about to go back up again.
Back up. I saw it at $4.50 this morning.
Good
Higher.
thing I don't own a car.
They say it's going to spike even higher. That's what this was a report. So I don't know how much truth to it is.
National average is $3.70 right now. Obviously, it's going to be higher in Chicago, but
Yeah,
I love not owning a car.
Yeah. So Rob Malley, who was a U.S. special representative for Iran, helped to fund, support, and direct an Iranian intelligence operation designed to influence the United States and allied governments, according to a trove of, that's a word I don't know, purloined Iranian government emails. Basically,
Purloined.
he was leading negotiations in Vienna and was the most dovish official we've ever seen. And now they're investigating him for being an Iranian spy. And he was like a Biden appointee. Yeah.
and where is this on?
Spectator.co.uk, which is a English politics website, paper. So look, we don't know the intricacies, but
Yeah, no, I never heard of that.
I do
Like
know
in
Tel
all
Aviv
the-
has one of the best nightlife scenes probably in the world.
Where's Tel Aviv?
Yeah, that's in
Oh, is
that's
it?
in Israel. I think that's where they first
wanna go.
invented
Hold on.
ecstasy. I remember
Is it really?
I remember hearing that at some point. It was like invented by some scientists in Tel Aviv.
MDMA was developed by a German pharmaceutical company in 1912.
That seems early.
Yeah, but
To
does
be
that
rolling.
mean watch us find out that the Nazis invented ecstasy.
Well, so maybe it was invented back then, but it didn't become like a popular party drug until much later.
Right. Yeah, I was saying like, can you imagine some flappers that was rolling?
Yeah.
That's why they call it the rolling 20.
Yeah.
Have
There
you ever
was
done X, Billy?
Nope. It's like actually, no. I was always scared of synthetic drugs.
Yeah, me too. I've never done. I know you have, Donnie.
Yeah.
You like it? I've heard great things.
It really depends. I mean, that's the scary thing when doing synthetic drugs. You have to get it tested. Like you could be doing ecstasy and then in reality it's just speed. Or I think when you do like MDMA in its pure form in a responsible amount, you could have a lot of fun, not have like a horrible come down or anything.
Is MDMA the one that they're saying they're using for therapy, or is that ketamine?
Yes. They're
Or
using both for therapy, but MDMA has shown a lot of promise with PTSD. So they're giving these people that come back from war super scarred, and they're letting them do MDMA in a controlled setting. They control the amount, and I think it's like changing people's lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, and psilocybin too.
Psilocybin.
A crazy
They
They
thing.
say we do not condone any kind of drug use on this podcast. This is just our experience.
There were wild plans before the creation of Israel. They had plans to create a Jewish homeland in Uganda. The Nazis at one point were going to send all the Jews to Madagascar. That was it was called there's some name for the plan. At one point they were going to create a Jewish homeland in Japan. The Fugu plan.
Also South America, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
Somaliland.
all right. Well, that wraps up today's episode. Wonton, Don, as always, we appreciate you pimping.
Mm-hmm.
Always good to see your face, hear your voice, man. If anybody got anything else, man, we'll see y'all in 2 days.
Donnie,
Don't go to jail.
You got any ideas for an episode topic since you're joining us?
For a topic.
Anything that's interesting you?
I want to do some thought. I can think of some. One thing Zuckerberg just proposed, he's like, down the line, we're going to have technology with the metaverse so you guys are obviously just zooming in, but soon we'll have technology where you can be here in holograph form.
Oh yeah, we talked about that last episode. Yeah.
Oh,
and it looked real. It looked real as shit. Yeah. With Fetterman, Lance or Lex or whatever.
Oh, with Lex Friedman. Yeah,
there you go.
That was when they're both like
Fetterman's the senator who wears Carhartt.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that with that technology, you all got to wear the shades, but eventually they're going to have it so you don't even have to wear the shades, and they could just have like an Arian holograph in the room with us while recording a pod.
It depends on which kind of Arian holograph, but game. Demolition Man. Demolition Man. That's how they had sex. They put helmets on. They didn't have sex with each other anymore. Go watch the movie. Yeah,
that's gonna happen. Yeah.
But anyway, all right, man. We gonna wrap. Love you guys. Peace, love, chicken grease. Y'all be easy.